Okay. Hello again, everyone. Welcome to sharing this time with us, and Assalamu alaikum to you all, and Ramadan Kareem to your family. Now, what we have prepared is just some quick slides, some ideas that we want to share with you, and we are hoping that you can enjoy with us the subject of Islamic architecture, which is a very, very big subject, but everybody knows something. But we want to show you some things which we think are very important, but sometimes they are missed. And so this is what we are here to speak about today. Do you want to say something?
No, you can
Yeah.
carry on.
So we will just begin. This is the talk, and my name is Samie, and
I am Zeynep.
this is Zeynep, and I am forced to accept her in my talk. I did not want her to be here, so but anyway, okay. So we will begin here, and let's start from the first page. So this is just to show you a general photo of a place which is maybe when people see Islamic architecture, we think of mosques and we think of domes, but this is not always like this. It's very different places, different regions of the world. In Pakistan, it is very different from Turkey. It's very different from Malaysia or America or here in the UK, where we are speaking from. It's very different. So this is really the principles of
But the source of inspiration is the same because in Islam we all believe in Allah, and also our source is always actually the Quran. So it kind of unites us all, and there are some things that are similar, but there are some things that are different in different regions.
yeah. So what Zainab is saying, yes, is that the principles, the
You might need to explain what
the
principle is.
the foundation, the root, the beginnings of Islamic architecture is the same, but
Yes.
there are many different types of how people express their art. So, for example, Ayman and Shema and Mariam would all express the same idea in different ways. So, let us talk more. So, I want to say something. When I was a child, I was really interested in understanding what is beautiful about Islam. What is beauty? And what is Islamic architecture and why is it beautiful? Everybody says it's beautiful. Everybody says it's like this. But why? What is the reason? And is there a meaning? Is it only beautiful to look at? Or do we understand something more than beauty? Does beauty have a meaning? What do you think?
So I was thinking, today I'm meeting you guys, and you're maybe 8 years old, 7, 9, 10, 11, and so I think about when I was 8, 9 years old. What was I thinking about Islamic architecture? So I just remembered my first memory is going to Taraweeh in Ramadan. There was a mosque next to our home, and this drawing on the left, so it's my drawing when I was 8, 9 years old. My cousins were living in Iran. So, and there was a mosque that was getting built next to our home. We were in Ankara, in Turkey. And so I was telling them the news. So there is a mosque they are going to build next to our home. And that was the mosque actually I started going to Taraweeh. So that's the actually first time when I was kind of exposed to Islamic architecture. What is Islamic architecture? BT, Taraweeh, Ramadan, and all these things were coming in to my world as a child. So just like you in your age, and right hand side, you can see the painting. So I continue to do these paintings and drawings from 8 years old to now 32.
52.
Okay. Yeah.
So Zeynep continued working, and we should always, if you, and I think you are all so talented, you should always be drawing. And if you see something, please draw. Take a pen, paper, and draw, because today we are so used to mobile phones and TV and these things that we forget to draw. We forget to use the pen and paper. So Zainab is saying that from the early ages, she was really looking at these things. And I think it's really important that we all, have this chance just to take a few minutes. And because if we don't practice, we will forget. And drawing really opens up the eyes and the mind to many things. Now, Zainab's drawings today on the right, they're very beautiful, but the understanding comes from things that were understood over time. So if we just go from next page.
I think let's ask them what they think about maybe.
Yeah, okay. So what we want to think is, so do you have any ideas right now? Is there a mosque that anybody has seen that they really like? Is there something that somebody really inspired by, the reason why they came to this talk? Maybe somebody likes the Blue Mosque, the Sultan Ahmed Mosque. Maybe somebody likes another. Is there something? Somebody?
You can raise your hand so we will see you if you want to answer. Or we will pick a name if you don't answer. Huh?
Isa, I think you want to say something.
Yes, actually, I'm really interested in the Mughal architecture, and I really like the Badshahi Mosque. So that was one of the reasons I joined the class.
Yes, the Badshahi Mosque in Pakistan in Lahore is one of the biggest courtyard in the world. One of the most beautiful mosques in Pakistan. Yes, it's such an amazing part of Mughal architecture, and it's very hot. I remember walking in the courtyard for a very, very long time and still not getting to the mosque, But yes, Mughal architecture is one very fascinating, and I think there is so many more discoveries to be made in Islamic architecture. This is what I want to share with you all. Don't stop studying and looking at Islamic architecture. Hello, Azra.
Islam, Azra.
Don't stop studying because there is so much to learn. Right.
Anyone else wants to
move on?
Okay.
Now, this slide, we wanted to show you that one of the key main things in Islamic architecture is the order and harmony that's inside the code of that architecture. So proportion and ratio.
I'm not sure if they understood.
No, I'm saying.
So basically, simply, we are inspired by nature when we design. All these mosques, in the mosque you see geometric patterns, paintings. Actually, the inspiration is coming from the nature, and obviously nature, everything in the nature is created by God. So our inspiration is coming from that. When you see there's a sunflower there, you can see the similarity, the kind of shape, and you can see the flower, how perfectly actually designed. It's almost like something that you drew yourself. Like, you can see there are 6 petals. So we see that it's 6-fold actually. And then you can see on the right-hand side on top, so I'm doing that drawing. It is very, very similar to a flower as well. So it's kind of like the similarity comes, and then you see that mosque image.
This is something which people miss, and something we want to show you today. The Islamic architecture is very simple, but the complexity comes later on. Hagia Sophia, Suleymaniya, Badshahi Mosque, all of these mosques come down to order, harmony, that reflect back to our Creator and our Islam and our Deen. And this is what we want to show you today, that our religion and our history has so much to offer. It's not just big mosques. It's not just big domes. There is so much more than this. So we will explore more. We have so much to show you, and we want to keep moving. Right. Now how do I do this? So we will look today at the 4 elements and how these are used inside Islamic architecture. We wanted to look at these 4 elements, how the Islamic thought took these 4 elements into Islamic architecture. Does anybody know what the 4 elements are? Of course you do. I just wrote them on the screen. But it's earth, which is mud or the soil. There's fire, which we all know what is fire. There is wind.
Oh, who is that?
And there is water. So let us begin first with wind, so air. This is the first element. How did Islamic architecture interpret air or work with the natural environment? So these photos you're seeing are something we called wind tunnels. So these are buildings built 1,000 years ago, over 1,000 years ago. And if you look at these large towers, they are taking air inside to the building to cool the rooms inside. So like an air conditioning system, but running from nature. I'm not sure. Did anybody see these before? If you have?
Yeah.
Oh,
Did
okay. Okay.
Is that Kubra?
I learned about these in geography.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, very good. So, but this is a very old system, and you know, people were using nature to cool their homes. But today we don't use nature. You know, today we have a remote control. You put the button and there's an air conditioning unit in the home. So we are saying that these things have been there for thousands of years. This is my photo here on the left when I visited these towers. And you can see the photo on the right showing from a very old systems. Houses are using them, buildings are using them. So I traveled to see them, to see how they work and what they do.
And hopefully when you guys grow up one day, you can also travel. And even now in your
You can
cities,
travel now also.
You should, I mean, not COVID time, of course, but, you know, in your cities, even just going out and visiting mosques or this kind of really historical buildings, you can learn a lot. And it doesn't have to be just buildings. You can just go to, you know, parks and, you know, just in the nature, looking at flowers, looking at all, you know.
Don't forget to draw. Take pen, paper with you and draw. If you see something, draw it, like it, write it down. You know, I keep with me a sketchbook of all of the things that I see. And I have so many of these books. So this is just to show you how the tunnel works by taking air inside.
These blue lines that you see is actually the wind. It comes in, it goes out. So that's basically the most simple way of explaining
I wanted to show you this one, and that this is actually, we all know what is a windmill, yes? Everybody knows windmill? Yeah?
Yes.
Good. Windmills turning. Windmill turns with the wind, yes? And when it turns, it creates... Junaid, what did you say?
Yes, you are saying right. Wind will be can circle.
Yes, it turns in a circle. It goes round and round. And what it does is it creates energy, or it creates electricity, or it creates, it does work for people, right? So I'm showing here that windmills started about 200 years, 150 years ago. Windmills started, okay, being used. But did you know that in the Muslim world, windmills have been used for over 1,000 years? People were using windmills to grind their corn and wheat for over 1,000 years. But we today see this as a very modern thing. So what we are trying to show you is that all of the ideas in Islamic architecture are already there. There is so much complex, there is so much wonderful architecture and systems that we don't need to always look at, what is the most modern system. We can understand from the old. So let's move on. Fakira says she knows that Muslims invented windmills. Yes, Muslims did invent the early windmills were used for water. They weren't for wind. They were to create wind turbines that moved in water. Yes, you're right. And they came from the region of Sham, which is Syria today. Yes, water wheels. They called them in English norias, hydraulic norias, but don't worry. So let's go on to talk a bit about water, how we see water being used in Islamic architecture.
I think all of you, especially coming from a kind of hot environment,
yeah.
I'm sure you saw when you visited a mosque or a kind of garden, you always see water in that garden. So we're kind of going to speak about that.
Yeah, and this photo on the right is a photo that I took, actually, and you can see water is used in such a beautiful way to not only make the reflection, but also it's used for washing as well. So it's really a powerful thing. And this is, one of a very beautiful place in Spain, in Granada. And you can see how water is part of the courtyard. It's used to give sound from the way that the water moves, light, coolness, such a beautiful thing. And it's always been there.
And all over the world, not only Muslims, but non-Muslims as well, they visit this place just to see this beautiful kind of design.
Yeah. And I recommend you all, if you can go to visit Spain, you must.
Excuse
it's
me,
very
sir,
beautiful.
where was Granada located?
Sorry?
Junaid, again?
Where was Granada located?
Where was Granada? Yes, Granada is in
Located
Spain.
In Spain, yeah.
In Spain.
But it was before it was in Spain. So
okay.
It was...
Yeah, Spain used to be a Muslim country. For 800 years, it was a Muslim country. And that time they built these wonderful buildings with courtyards and oranges trees and all these kind mosques. And if you visit Spain today, you can see a lot of this history there. So that's why I wanted to share this with you. And Ayman says, fountains are not in gardens because they always look pretty. Yes, they do. Yeah, that's something we found. And in the next photo, me on the left there with my father visiting a courtyard with there is a water fountain in the middle. This is in Morocco, in Fez, and you see it in Spain, in Morocco, in Pakistan, always fountains. So water is a big part of Islamic architecture. Do you want to speak about life?
Okay.
Yeah. So something very interesting I want to share with you. Many of you won't know this, and many books miss this out, is that the way water was brought into towns and cities was using a very interesting system which goes back thousands of years. Now, what this does, if you look at the photo on the right, you can see there is a garden in the middle of a very dry field. Can you see that? How is it possible to have a garden so rich and so beautiful in the middle of something, somewhere where there's no water? Right? It's amazing. Now, I'll tell you how. They were creating, the early Muslims from over 1,000 years ago, understood ways of making water reach the place where they wanted to reach. And they did this by using something called qanat or faraj in Arabic, they call it. These were systems that brought water all the way into one area so they could create gardens and fountains. And so again, using nature, being close to the environment, understanding how nature works. Yeah. Nowadays we turn on a tap and we have water, but there is a lot of history in how Muslims understood the environment to use it to create the environment.
So now I would like to ask actually children, do you have any memory about, seeing a fountain in a mosque that you visited? Or anything about water, actually? Any memory? Should I pick a name? No?
Maimuna, you can say something?
Okay, yeah.
Well, I want to say something that, how you're just telling how water comes. So I was like, yeah, because in UAE, the water, you just open the tap too much and then water just sprouts. If you just like put your hand there, it just splatters all over. And then now we're actually seeing how small water quantities are.
Yeah, Maimuna, are you from the US?
No, UAE.
UAE, okay, sorry. Yeah, you're right. It's amazing because now we have these our cities like Istanbul, Ankara, London, Paris. We have big plants, power plants, big buildings that pumping water to our home so we can open the tap and have the water. But we don't know where it's coming from and how it's coming from. But the early Muslims were using a very wonderful, genius system to bring water in. But yeah, Maimuna, you're right. That's really interesting. Okay.
Anyone else wants to speak about memory?
Abdullah, you want to say something?
No?
Okay.
Okay, let me see. There's anyone else?
If there's anybody else, no.
Oh, we can't see most of the children. Cameras are off. Okay, let's continue then. Okay.
Fakira said, actually, I saw a fountain, but it was in a center of stores. And yeah, and we have other, Kadia said the sound of water is very soothing as well.
Okay, we missed that in the chat box, right?
In chat box, yes. And Slafa says, I saw it in the middle of the area in front of the masjid.
Yeah. I just saw some of the questions now. I'm sorry. Fakira says, what happened? Did the Muslims leave Spain? This is a very big subject. Let's talk again. We can do another subject on Spain, but it's a sad story. And I lived in Spain before, and I love, and you see today Spanish culture has so much taken from Muslim culture. And I think we can talk about this again, but there are some really good books you should read. And yes, so fountains were definitely part of Islamic architecture. And
we have a fountain in our grandparents' house. Yes, in the houses as well. It is used definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, let's carry on.
Right, let's carry on. We're now coming to number 3, which is earth. Now, the earth is the soil. We tread on it, we walk on it, we have in our garden, yes? And what else do we use it for?
In construction, of course.
Yeah, a little bit. But not, you use it also for face masks, for beauty, for face mask.
Not really.
I'm joking. She doesn't use face mask, right? But yeah, like we don't to make
Make mud houses.
yes,
great answer.
Mariam.
Yes.
Yes, good. Mud houses. This is what we want to talk about
Yes.
because everyone thinks Islamic architecture is big buildings, marble, white, shiny. But mud is a big part of Islamic architecture history. We see mud used because it was so wonderful to work with. And there are many things about mud that it's free, it's easy to work with.
You just get it from earth and that's it. You
and
know?
yeah, and then you get it from earth and then you work with it. And then I wanted to talk about this because people miss this in Islamic architecture. People always talk about Suleymaniye Mosque, right? People talk about Taj Mahal in India, but people don't talk about is the wonderful systems that make these mosques. Now, this mosque you're seeing here, sorry, if you go back once, right? Sorry. So this man on the right, he's making the bricks from the mud. Yeah. And it's a very simple system. And I don't know many of you know this, but so this was used to make many of the mosques and we see them today.
Samie kind of answered this, but actually I was going to ask, what do you think this building is, right?
Yes.
Do you think it is a house or mosque? Like it's very unusual to us. We don't see this every day, right? You know, where we live. But it is a mosque.
It is a mosque. I'm sorry I spoke too soon.
No.
But this is a mosque and this is my favorite mosque in the world.
Yes.
Yeah, I love this mosque. There are many reasons why.
Where is it?
This mosque is in Mali.
Where is Mali?
Mali. Mali is in West Africa,
yes,
near to Senegal. And it's a wonderful place. I hope to visit it. And I always talk about this mosque because this mosque has...
there is someone from Mali.
Hawa.
We have to speak to you then. So do you visit this mosque?
Hawa? Are you there? Oh.
Sorry.
Are you there, Hawa? Are you shy?
Yes.
We would love to hear what you think about this mosque.
Yes.
Hawa?
Yes.
I think she speaks right now.
Okay. You're from Mali?
We can't see you.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. Yes. Salam, Hawa. Wonderful. We love you because we love Mali, we love Senegal. We have very good friends from these countries and really, we love your buildings. We love your buildings. Yeah?
I've never been there, but I always see this picture and we give this as an example in Islamic architecture, but I never experienced it. So how is it for you? Do you like this mosque? Do you enjoy going there?
Yes.
You've been there?
Huh? She's been there. Okay. Let's
okay.
not pause too much.
Okay. Thank you, Hawa, for commenting. I'm so happy that
yes,
somebody from Mali is here because you have such a wonderful culture, a history, and all the Islamic architecture books, the normal books, always look at Suleymaniye, Taj Mahal, but they don't look at these wonderful buildings. They are a good example of what we're trying to say. So this mosque in Mali, Hawa maybe knows, it's a 13th, 14th century mosque. It's 700, like 600 to 700 years old. And people the community comes together and they make this mosque, the walls every year. Every year, everybody comes together and repairs the mosque.
Yeah, think that you're in a neighborhood, you have all your neighbors, and in a certain time in the year, you all come together and you rebuild, kind of, not rebuild, but repair your mosque all together with your neighbors.
A community event. And what this does, this is the really beautiful thing. So mosques are not something that you leave and you go and you don't know. Everybody, the whole community knows about it. And this mosque has been standing now for 600, 700 years, made from mud. And it's made from something we all walk on, something so available to everyone. And oh, how I said my mom visited the mosque in Jin, north of Mali. Yes, it is north of Mali, and that's fine. Fakira says she's using Amijan's account.
So her name is different.
That's fine. I'm sorry,
Okay.
Fakira. Raisa, I think you said your name is.
Why is there need to repair the mosque?
Okay, Mariam and Maham asked this question. Why do we need to repair the mosque? Okay, good question. Does it not go away? Yeah, it does. But you see, when we build from materials that don't cost the earth, when we build from materials that are easily available, we are actually giving back to the earth. You know, we're not getting brick and stone from another country to build a mosque, and then later we change the color, then you go back to get another piece of stone. Our mosques today are made up, the modern mosques are made up of materials from Vietnam to China to Japan, and this is not sustainable. Sustainable means to try to save something for the future. So, okay, Rais, I'm sorry, you're a boy. I didn't see. And so Mariam asked the question, Mariam and Maham, about why we don't. We're not saying that this is, we should do mud mosques everywhere. We're saying that this shows how people understood their environment, how they worked with nature. And this is what we're trying to show you guys today. And Isa says, in our villages, we have mud houses too. Each year people have to put a layer of mud on the walls. Oh, that's so sweet, Isa. Yes, in Rawalpindi, I believe there are still quite a few villages, and they use mud and brick. I know this. So yeah, I'm really happy to see that. And right. Here's a mosque. Now, to answer Mariam's question, I've included this mosque. Do you know where this mosque is? Do you know? You don't have to say. Do anybody know where this mosque is? Or where this mosque? Does anybody know this mosque?
I think this is the earlier model of Masjid Nabawi. I think so.
Aiza, you told everyone the answer. Yes, we wanted to tell you that the early mosques that were made, even during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, were made using natural materials like straw, like mud. Yeah, even the columns, you can see how they're made, like really basic materials. At that time, you know, there was marble being used. At that time, there was lots of stone being used. But why did the Prophet use a material that was so simple and not so? Because it was to do with not wanting to make something, which is so big and shiny, and something which is going to cost so much and make it a burden for people to keep trying to rebuild it. Because we were being told to have humility.
Yeah, there is that, and also there is, of course, the practical reasons, I guess. The situation, what was it that time as well, right? I mean, you need a lot of people to work in heavier materials.
Yeah, true.
There are, of course, practical reasons.
Yeah, if you work with marble and stone, you need more people, you need machines, you need so much things. Again, material which is local is easy to work with, and it really works well. This is Medina Mosque today, right? So you can see.
Anyone visited Medina?
Yes, we lived in.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
2 years.
You are very lucky, because when I was a child, actually.
Yes, sir. I visited.
I only went when I was really,
old, very old. When she was very old, she visited. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Lucky kids. You are very lucky.
Yes.
Okay.
And
I was.
Mariam and Maham,
you as well. You went also. You visited Medina.
And by the way, You both look exactly the same. Are you twins?
Yeah. Yes.
Ah, so and where are you calling? Where are you from?
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. Oh, this is so. I'm happy to see that you're seeing this. These photos. Which city in Saudi Arabia are you calling from?
Dammam.
Damam, mashallah, Damam. Wonderful. These photos that I have now on the screen is actually from Saudi Arabia, and it's actually from the city of Mecca. You know, Mecca, everybody must know Mecca. These are old photos of Mecca and Jeddah, actually. The one on the right, I believe, is from Jeddah. So this is showing you that the way of building in traditional materials, not using big shiny stone, we see this for a very long period, and we saw this up until recently, right? And so these are very old photos of yes, exactly, Sharif. The one on the right is the old town in Jeddah, yes. And so we see these materials being used all the way through history and up until recently. No, we'll move on. Do you have any questions? Anybody have any questions? No?
We can't see, but you can write in the chat box as well if you have any questions, okay?
Okay. Oh, Sophia is cousin from Pakistan to Maryam and Mayham. Wow, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. Okay.
Okay. Today, actually, we wanted to do kind of coloring as well. If you have any time left.
Can we
just
finish?
Yeah, let's
quickly.
Continue.
We're going to finish off, then we can get to the coloring part. So next one, if I can do. So I was just saying that we use these natural materials. We can still use them to create wonderful structures, wonderful domes using brick. We don't need to use fancy, expensive materials. I won't talk too much on that. So the last one is fire and light. So this is the fourth element. We did water, air, earth, and now fire and light. Yeah? So what's interesting is that fire and light is what people use, or fire is what people use to create new materials. So Muslims from many centuries before began to create wonderful materials that were used in buildings. For example, lamps, glasses, and colored glass. So when light shines through, the whole building lights up. So, for example, this is an object in a museum today, but many centuries old, and again, using very old techniques of using fire and earth to create something new. So this would be hanging inside a mosque or an old building, and it would be giving off light using natural fire, oil, glass to give many different colors. And we see these colors in some of the mosques that we visit. And the mosque that you see on the left is Sheikh Lutfullah Mosque in Iran. And
is anyone from Iran here? No?
No?
Okay.
Yeah, so it really is something that really we see these colors coming through this history and lighting up spaces. And again, coming from this kind of way of understanding fire. Somebody said it looks like buttons are fit inside the pot. Yes, there are different styles of that glass. I just chose that one. There are many different styles. And you are from Turkey, you have hundreds of styles of these shades still today. Right, we should move forward. So just to summarize, just to tell you guys, what do I understand today? What do we understand from our childhood to how we understand Islamic architecture today? And we want to talk a little bit about what we understood and summarize what we just covered. And this is from the exhibition that was done by Usturlab and in Istanbul. And I just want to say that the roots of Islamic architecture are found in nature. there's a spelling mistake in the bottom. Ignore that. But the roots are found in nature. And all these things we've shown you, the way we understand nature. Okay?
So the message would be, I guess, it's really important to spend time in nature to connect with that roots again.
Yeah. Somebody asked, what is this? So this is actually a corn. It's a pine corn. And we find this here in the UK in the autumn time. Again, I'm not sure where you are coming from, Abdullah, but this is commonly, we find this in parks and, you know, in forests and places. And this is just one example, but many flowers, which Zeynep will talk about later on today and things, they kind of have different shapes and patterns that we can understand and learn from. So what am I trying to say? What I am saying, Islamic architecture is beautiful, but
is it only beautiful? Like,
yes.
You know, I think it's something that we need to understand as well.
Yes.
Where is it coming from? Why is it beautiful? That kind of questions we need to ask ourselves.
It's all found in the natural world, and we have to look to nature around us to understand the world around us. And Abdul Rahman is from Denmark. Yes, in Denmark you have wonderful parks and places, I know that. So yeah, we have to really give time to our environment to understand it. Yeah, non-Muslim countries apart from mosques. Do we see Islamic architecture in non-Muslim countries?
Because of the history, like in Spain, you can.
Yes, but we still see Islamic architecture in non-Muslim countries. Here in the UK, we have. And this slide here is basically me just showing today. I give tours to people around these old mosques in a non-Muslim country.
Non-Muslims, mainly.
Yeah, non-Muslims come to learn about Islamic architecture, and we show them about these very same principles. And this mosque you're seeing is the oldest mosque in the UK.
And it's the same mosque. In the beginning of this talk, I showed my painting. So there was the painting of this mosque. We lived in this, district as well.
Yeah. So yeah, this is what Zeynep's painting was early on that she showed. And so this is what we try to show people today when we give our tours around the mosques. We try to show that, you know, the history of everything you see around you here has its roots in the nature which is around here. So the trees around this mosque really are reflected inside the architecture of the mosque. So that's really the summary of it. And somebody said in our country we have many dates and coconut trees in Pakistan. Yes, you do. And these have been understood and reflected back into buildings and way of life there. So
I have a question.
Yes, we're going to open up to questions.
Go ahead.
And I will just, yes, please go ahead.
Are there people that are changing the mosques? So you said that the mosques aren't so shiny. They are beautiful, yes, but they aren't so shiny and with stones and so. But are they people they want to change mosques?
And make them more shiny, do you mean?
Yes, yes.
That's a very good question.
What do I understand?
Are there people today who want to change the architecture of the mosque and make them shinier, not humble?
The thing is, over time, when we look at history, so this is what I do. I look at Islamic history, architecture, and I write about it, and I visit it, and I talk about it. And I even design some mosques as well today. Now, the thing is, as we move forward, as people, as society, we are creating buildings in a way which suits our needs. And we are now doing things in a way which is easier and perhaps, or what I believe, disconnected from our environment. So, for example, we can see the same mosque designed in Islamabad, copied in the same mosque to be seen in London or the same mosque is seen in Adana, or the same mosque is seen in Istanbul. The thing is, what's happened is the way we are building structures now has changed. Some things are good. I'm not saying all the new things are bad. I design very modern things as well, but we are more disconnected from our environment. People have stopped spending time outdoors. Look,
and when you are disconnected, basically we humans, we are the ones who build mosques, right? It reflects on our buildings directly. So when you are disconnected from nature, the architecture, of course, changes. That your understanding of Islamic architecture in general changes as well.
And Zubair, you asked a very good question.
Yes.
When we work with, I worked in many countries, including Saudi Arabia and some of these places, and what we are finding again and again, and Zeynep noticed too, is that the people who are, so as architects, we design mosques. The people who build mosques, they want to do things in a way that they understand. So, but what I'm saying is, a lot of the time, they want to build very fast and very new and very thing.
And very shiny as well.
And shiny. We like to see things being very colorful, and what we try to show today in today's talk is that mosques and Islamic architecture is not just about shiny big buildings. It's not just about big domes. It's not just about big statements. Sultan Ahmed Mosque, Taj Mahal, Badshai Mosque. We love these buildings, but
they are beautiful. Don't get us wrong. They are beautiful, but there are humble versions of them as well. So we need to consider that. We need to see them. Where is it coming from, and why is it beautiful as well? They are beautiful too.
And the concept of beauty, don't stop at beauty. Go beyond beauty. Beauty is step one. There are 100 steps between beauty and where Islamic architecture is, the history of it is. And we feel people keep saying beautiful, beautiful, but beauty in Islamic architecture has lots of complexity.
Today, we can relate this topic actually to our lives in a way in social media, right? In social media, we see that they try to define beauty, or beautiful person, beautiful this, beautiful clothes, and beautiful that, and beautiful this, right? But it's not just what you see there. There are always like a beauty inside, right? Where is it coming from? Once you understand that, you see what's beautiful different as well. So it's the same in architecture.
Yeah. It's really,
Abdullah has a question.
All of you have wonderful minds. You all have so much to share and many questions, and you shouldn't be afraid to share and always explore and know more. And don't forget to sketch and draw and write down things.
Okay, we'll get first Abdullah's question. Abdullah wrote, he has a question. Yes, Abdullah, go ahead.
I'm asking that we use new materials as they are good, so why do we use it? So why do not we use the materials?
That's again, just the technology is moving forward. I guess we were able to use new materials as well.
Abdullah is right in the sense that why are we using? Because there's nothing, again, the problem is it's just the way that we are approaching it. I don't say that we can't use new materials.
Yeah, there is nothing wrong with using new materials.
But the way the buildings are being done is they're not reflecting the principles of Islamic architecture. They're not serving the very people.
We are just trying to say that don't be disconnected from nature. Don't be disconnected from the roots of this architecture. Then you can try to do it with new materials as well.
So for example, everybody wants to build big mosques now. In Istanbul, they are building mosques that are gigantic, enormous. So Because it's the new thing now, but we don't need big mosques anymore. We need mosques which are more in tune with our
Okay, there are more
environment.
questions. In what countries of the world do we see the mud building? Morocco, for example?
Yes, we actually see mud building. Mud building was a tradition that all parts of the world had from an early on. But many regions kept this tradition, but others over time quickly changed to start using stone and, you know, other kind of more luxurious materials.
Will there be any more classes? For now, no, but hopefully in the future.
Zeynep is doing a class later on. And,
but in Turkish.
In
so
Turkish.
It won't be in English.
Don't worry. We will do it more in English together, and I won't forget you, and we will do it.
Yeah, another question. Can we still use mud for modern building now?
Yes, you can.
You can.
You can. And there are some architects, very few now, who are trying to restart this tradition. They are starting to use mud mixed with other things to create new buildings. And I can tell you myself, on buildings that I've worked in, when we use natural materials, they feel very different when you stand under them.
Do you have print screen? Can we have a photo all together, just as a remembrance, guys? If anyone wants, you can put the camera on. And Shema, you can also get a picture maybe for your record.
But we really enjoyed it. Oh, we have another question. Oh, Maria Maham, my love to you, really. You are so sweet. You know, I wish I could come to Dammam to see you. You know, give our salam to your families, really. Okay, oh, we're getting more questions. Why is it easy to use mud for Islamic buildings? Are there non-Islamic buildings with mud?
There are non-Islamic buildings with mud because it's something that's local in that, you know, and it was easy, you know, kind of to do, cheap. It doesn't have to be Islamic, but today we're giving examples from Islamic architecture, that's why.
We could talk so long, but time is running short. And I don't know if Zeynep can do her coloring exercise. I don't know.
I think time is up, but you have the coloring page. What you can do is just, you can paint them and you can send them to the address where you registered. You can also show the print.
Wow, that's so good.
Go print it. You can show. That's great. Everyone printed. So what I would like to see is if you can color at home and just send it to us. You know, when you registered, you received an email from an email address. So you can just send it to them and they can post it all together, all the colored pages. That would be great. That would be great to see because I know everyone is coloring it in a different way.
I just want to ask, what is this?
On social media too. They can.
Yes. And you have a social media account. You can post it on your social media account.
Social media Instagram account.
Basically, Iqbal, did you share your social media account, Maya, in the email? Maybe if you send an email to all the, everyone who's here today, so they will send you a social media account, and you can tag that in your when you share it in your social media account. That's one way of doing it, or you can just send it to that email address. That's another option. Abdullah Arif asked, I think, Abdullah, was it you?
Yeah, what is the image, the one?
Yes, that's a geometric pattern that was designed and used by a scientist called Al-Jazari. He lived in 13th century, so that's quite old, but we are using that because we are also talking about the history of Islamic science and architecture and design, and that was our topic today. That is it.
It's there's so much to speak about, and we hope to really, it's been so nice to see so many questions and all of you being so active. We are so happy that you have this chance to share this and have this with Usturlab, to have this opportunity, because I didn't have this opportunity, and to have this because for us we go through many years and then we reach, 25, and then you start, and Zeynep, she reaches 50, and then she starts, and it's really you're so really happy, and if you enjoyed this, and keep in touch, and
thank you for joining us. And also, if you look at the chat box, actually,
yes.
Zeynep, before someone writes that,
Zeynep,
one moment. So they shared the social media accounts.
Yes.
But if you can, Shema, if you can email this social media accounts to everyone who joined today, that would be great.
Okay.
Yes,
I'll do that.
Zeynep,
I'll send
Zeynep would, you say something Urdu, Zeynep speaks very good Urdu, and she's just going to say.
Right now, I only remember.
Yes.
Okay, Khuda Hafiz, I can say. That's
yes,
that's more in context.
Khuda Hafiz, yes. But that's fine. And no, I'm so happy that you guys enjoyed. Mariam and Maham, thank you for your questions. And yes, let's we can organize this again. And on my side, I'll be happy to talk about Spain or Mecca or some of these places, or Rawalpindi or Lahore. Maybe we can do more sessions on that. But it's been so nice to see you all. And I'm so happy that we saw somebody from Mali today.
Yeah, we see more people now that the cameras are getting on, and it's really nice to see you all.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Excuse me. I just want to know, how exactly can we send you the pictures? How exactly can we send the pictures to you?
You received an email when you registered, right? Where you downloaded the coloring page. Did you receive an email when you registered for this talk?
Yeah, you can send
yes,
it.
We did.
Yeah. You can send the email address. We send you the links, or you can share on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It'll both be fine, actually. We shared with you the account names, and I'm gonna share with you again with email, so you can check that out.
Be in touch with you. You can just follow her, guidance.
Yes.
Okay. And yes, and if you want more sessions, also message Shema and tell her, look, we want more sessions. I will be happy to.
Okay.
Thank you to all Usturlab team for organizing this, and thanks to all children to joining us. It was really wonderful to hear what you think, and most of the things you already knew about, actually. That was very surprising, right?
Yes, we were very impressed. I was very impressed with all of you, well done for doing so much and knowing so much, and we hope to see you again, inshallah. Yeah.
Okay.
Take care, Ayman. Thank
Salam,
you. Take care.
Bilge,
Junaid, Mariam, Zoya, Abdullah.
Time with us.
No problem.
Thank you again for joining.
Salam.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.